it's just gonna be like, and another thing, those frickin' stupid people made my eyepiece all gross, and now I have to take it apart and clean it.
Yeah.
Oh, are we recording now?
How many people were playing that while testing it? It was only like 2.
Yeah, probably
2, 3,
the guy working
maybe
on
16.
it, and
But
probably the one guy.
the guy working on it played it for about 4 hours total.
Yeah, well,
So
4 to 5.
His face was probably all sweaty and nasty on
yeah,
there.
it's no wonder his eyeballs didn't melt.
Yeah, 3 hours in one sitting is what we heard. That's pretty amazing for the Virtual Boy.
That's a pretty sweaty brow,
Yeah,
I would think.
Not even I did that, and when I first got it, I played it quite a bit.
And the Virtual Boy, like, eye hood thing is
the
fabric.
foam padding is like
Foam fabric, so it's going to
looking.
soak up all that sweat.
Things to think about the next time you play your Virtual Boy.
Yeah, I'm not putting this thing up to my face until I get a chance to clean it. And actually, I downloaded the instruction manual and read it. You can actually remove this whole stupid fucking eyepiece thing and clean it because they
really?
do
Just like wash it.
Yeah.
Can you throw it in the
I probably wouldn't put it in the washing machine.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
You can wash it by
probably screw
hand,
up.
like carefully,
Yeah.
because they knew since it's the Virtual Boy, only one person can use it at a time. But then maybe someone else wants to use it, and then they're going to use it and get it all gooey, icky, and you'll be like, eh. So yeah, for those who didn't know, I got a Virtual Boy a while ago, and for a few days, I guess, it was fine. And then all of a sudden, I started seeing horizontal lines, just like in the left eye, I think, or something.
Yeah, it was the left one.
I looked online, and it's a common problem that happens to everyone. Like, weird horizontal lines will show up. And the reason is one of the, like, ribbon cables that connect to, like, the mirrors or some bullshit gets, like, loose and has to be, like,
Adjusted or
recombobulated.
something.
And it actually was, I was saying earlier before we started, the Retro Fat Cast, by the way, this is not about baseball or anything Pokemon Go related, so if you came here looking for that, we apologize. I'm just going to bitch about Virtual Boy for a while. Anyway, so, yeah, like, I have a warranty on this thing, so it's like, I could
Just
probably take
really
it apart.
quickly, who's bitching right now?
Me. Oh, yes, names. Who am I again? I forgot.
The person bitching about the Virtual Boy is Jason.
That's it, yeah. I had a shit day, so I'm kind of running on fumes right now, but...
My name is Wes.
And I'm Lauren.
All right.
And this is the Retro Fat Cast for
Listening
August
to Jason
2nd, 2000 gazillion BC. Anyway, so
Bitch
yeah,
away.
Virtual Boy, horizontal lines. I could probably open the thing and fix it myself. I've repaired many a console and or game in my time, but I have a warranty on it. Like the game store, obviously it's a used Virtual Boy. You can't, buy them new anymore really, but they gave me a warranty, so it's like, you know what? I'm not going to fuck with this thing and risk making it worse, and then they won't give me the warranty. So I'll just give it back to them, and I took it back. The guy's, he's nice. He's very understanding at the game store we frequent, and it's like, okay, I get my guy to look at it. He knows what's wrong with it too. He'll probably just like solder or whatever the hell piece back in place and make it work good again. Great. And then it took only 3 weeks for them to do that? So,
Yeah.
3 or 4?
Yeah, 3
almost?
weeks.
Yeah. So, like, he's like, oh, yeah, we'll probably be, it's like, well, we'll be in next week. So, we'll come in next week. A week is probably plenty of time just to open the stupid thing and twiddle a little diddle, diddle twiddles. But, no, he hadn't done it yet. And then we went back the second week. No, he hadn't done it yet. And by that time, the game store guy was actually like, all right, I'll tell my guy to get on it because this is horseshit. And he was very understanding. He was a great... It's like, okay, thanks. And then finally, today, which I don't want to go into really details about
How horrible
this day's been. Sorry to depress everybody, but people have bad days. And mine in particular was really fucking special. But... of all fucking things that went wrong today,
You got
of
your
how
virtual boy.
miserable my goddamn whole fucking next week's gonna be too, thanks to particular events today. The guy called yesterday at my house and was like, hey, your virtual boy is fixed. You can come pick it up. And I was like, wow. And it's Monday. We'll be down there tomorrow because Tuesday is when we come down to hang out and be stupid. That's actually works. And so, yeah, I was in the process of like assembling this stupid thing and, just... I mean, they said, yeah, they played it a lot, and it looks great and perfect and fine. Everything's good. They gave, me a fancy new AC adapter because the old one was shit and
Had
cheap.
a short.
Yeah, and had a short. So, yeah, that's great. But I was just in the process of assembling it, and it's like, well, I got some, I forgot to bring my games. Oops. But I did get a Virtual Boy game, and it's just the baseball game they made
Yeah,
for
it was brand new, never opened.
yeah,
so.
brand new, honestly. It was like,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. But, I mean, I think baseball games, video games are okay. Like, baseball to watch is boring. Baseball to play is fun. It's always been that way, even for games. I don't know about you guys, but...
Have you
Yeah, I
have you
don't
tried
like
that?
watching baseball.
Have you tried that game in particular on an emulator?
No, I don't think so. I mostly played Wario Land because it's awesome, because Wario...
I was just curious if it was a actual first-person perspective for that.
Oh, hell no.
No?
What do you think this is? Virtual Boy comes with sweaty collar to tug at. Ugh. Anyway, I was about to put this fucker together and look for myself just to be like, hey, yeah, it's great. But then I looked at the eyepiece, which is like a foam covering, and I was like, wait, at least 2 or 3 other weirdo guys have been staring into this thing for quite a while. I don't think I'm gonna stick my face up to this until I take it apart and clean it. Like, you can take the face foam off and clean it, and the manual suggests you do that, obviously.
You don't want it to just be saturated with sweat and bacteria to get in your
And have
eyes
that
and cause
nice
some sort of
smell.
infection?
Well, as fun as that sounds, I am gonna have to clean it, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
But at the
Wait,
very
how
least,
did I get pink eye again?
Yeah,
To each their own, I guess.
I don't remember sticking that there then. Use your imagination, kids. But I will be able to set it up, plug it in, fucking put in stupid baseball game. The only one they ever made, because they only made like 20 games for this fucking thing and divided half of them between America and Japan, more or less. So that's cool. But I just, want to make sure it works. And I don't have to actually put it up to my face to do that. So I'll be quietly, hopefully, assembling this thing. I'm not going to sit here and play Virtual Boy while you two talk, but I just want to make sure. So when you see me putting this together, don't think I've zoned out completely. I'm not quite dead yet, but after today,
Maybe soon.
yeah. Today was bad, so if one of you guys wants to talk about anything at all, I'm sure it will be better than the last fucking month I've had. Unless it involves the deer, because that involved 2 of us.
Oh yes, that
All
was
right.
that was loads of fun because
Yeah,
last
you
time
guys
we
can
were
talk
down-
about that, and I'm going to go back to trying to destroy that memory with drugs and alcohol, of which I have sorely little right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, 2 weeks ago we were down and the Virtual Boy wasn't fixed yet, so it's like okay. Well, we were going back home, which is an hour drive.
Oh, sweet, it's an official Nintendo adapter instead of one of those shitty ones they gave me.
Yay! Okay, you're
All
heading
right.
back home.
But we were almost home and on the freeway, doing 65 miles an hour, and it's like 2 miles from home. Deer decides to jump right into the front of my car while I'm going down the freeway, and literally you had no time to react. It's just like,
How do I open this fucking...
Just deer
Yeah.
smash.
Yeah.
there wasn't even time for deer. It's just like you're driving along, seeing nothing. Then it's like one frame in a
Yeah.
game where there's this deer like on the hood of my
Yeah.
car, and then one frame where it's gone.
Yeah,
And it's like,
imagine...
what just happened?
Yeah, imagine you're playing, like, Fatal Fury 3. And like Terry and Andy are fighting, and then all of a sudden, one frame, you just see a deer pop up the whole fucking screen and then disappear. And it was like that, except with a very loud and angry crunch. And that did not look or feel good, and I still have trouble sleeping, and now my bowels are completely shot. If you'd like to hear more about my bowels, please subscribe.
Yeah, it kind of did a lot of damage to my car. Luckily, airbags didn't go off. It didn't go into the windshield. Could still see, and my car was still moving and drivable for the most part. So it's like, okay, carefully make it the last mile and a half home and park it. And it's like, as soon as I'm pulling into the driveway, it's like my dash thing pops up a thing going, oh, warning, engine losing power. It's like, oh,
No
gee,
shit.
Really? Okay.
Check engine light pops on.
Yeah. So it's like, pull it in, park it, turn it off, get out and start looking. Yeah, totally screwed up the whole front end. The driver's side headlight thing just was like gone, shattered completely in pieces. Most of it was down inside my car. But the wires with the bulbs were like hanging on the outside.
And ironically, the bulb was still intact and working.
Yep, they were still working. Lights were still working.
Save $10. Sweet. And where's that $1,000 deductible?
Yeah,
Fuck.
spent the last 2 weeks trying to get it into the shop and fixed. The first week was spent waiting for the insurance guy to come to my house and inspect it so it could go to the thing.
Yeah, I've had to
Go to the auto body
I've
shop.
had to deal with insurance companies
And
not wanting to pay for things,
It's like,
and then you having to make them do it.
we called you on a Wednesday, and you can't get back until the Thursday of the next week. I mean, that kind of sucked, because that was a whole week that it could have been getting worked on, and it wasn't.
Yeah, but they didn't want to pay for it, so they thought maybe he'll forget about it if we wait
Yeah.
long enough.
Well, finally get it,
Really.
towed
Maybe
over to the
he'll
auto
enjoy
body
walking.
shop, and they're checking it out, and they go, oh wait, there's more damage here than the guy originally estimated, because it pushed the radiator in and bent a whole bunch of stuff up, and they're like, well, we're gonna have to contact the insurance company and see if they're still gonna pay for it. So I had to wait the whole weekend, and today, this morning, this horrible day it's been, that was one of the good things for me. They actually called and said they valued my car at like really high, so they're gonna be able to fix it.
Yeah, 'cause-
$3,000 more than
Yeah,
it
even though the
costs to
car is
fix
like,
it.
7 years old, it has hardly any mileage considering its age, because you only
Yeah, we don't
drive to work really, with the exception of coming down here
Right.
once a week. He goes to work, and he works at a fucking store of ill repute, let's say. It's called Mallwart. Anyway, it's literally only like 4 miles from her house. So, yeah, he's like racking up like, 10 miles a day in his car on days he's working, and then days off. Sometimes he doesn't go anywhere. So, great mileage on the car, like 73,000 miles, I think.
Yeah, so, I mean, that helps out a lot.
Yeah.
So at least they'll pay for it. I mean, you gotta pay the deductible still, but whatever.
Yeah, which
It's
is
not-
1,000, but then the insurance has to pay the 6,000. So
Yeah. That seems
Fuck
like
them.
a lot of money to fix that thing, but I guess there's a lot of body work on it.
yeah, like most of it seemed to be cosmetic, and it, like it said, it did some weird like engine power low on his little dashboard, but his dashboard always says weird shit like, "Oh, your oil's about to explode," and Lauren just ignores it. So I'm kind of looking at him like, "You need to change your oil." Okay, all right,
Yeah.
not my car.
Have you been doing anything other than being hit by a deer and being miserable?
Oh, we played Mario Party. That's fun.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You were not miserable for that moment, and we were.
Yeah, I just thought I would share some of my miserable day with the rest of you by playing Mario Party 3 for N64. It's a fun game. The fun is in like air quotes, but
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean. It's a guilty pleasure. It's stupid. It's bad. But you want to see like a bad one of those games? I got plenty of ones that are worse than Mario Party. They're board games.
Are they real life board games?
No, they're video game board games. Like they tried to emulate Mario Party. Woof. Like you think Mario Party's bad? You guys ain't seen nothing yet, and I can't wait to show them to you. Oh. Can I bring up the Virtual Boy again real quick?
Sure, yeah.
So I was looking at the AC adapter, and the first AC adapter they gave me was just like a cheapo, like, third-party one, and it sucked. It had a short in the cord, didn't fucking work, whatever. And then I told them that. Well, like, a week after they, actually, when I brought my Virtual Boy in to get repaired, I gave it to him, and the guy's like, oh, well, we got you a battery pack, and it's cool because it's the official battery pack. Like, and it's like, well, great. When my Virtual Boy gets fixed, I guess I can use this. In the meantime, on the shelf you go. Clunk. Anyway, so, yeah. I was wondering about that, too. Like, okay, when they try to repair my Virtual Boy, obviously they're going to have to deal with that shit cord. Maybe they'll replace it. And they did. And they actually replaced it with the official Nintendo AC adapter thing. Which is great. So now I have, like, both of them. The battery pack and the official, like, real one.
Instead of the crap third-party whatever.
And you know what's really funny? The way the plug-in works, you open it up and plug in, like, an AC adapter into it. It's like a little square box. You close it up and stick it on the back of the controller. That's the way it works. But the funny thing is, the AC adapter they gave me for that part is a cheap shitto one.
Yay.
But there's good news. You can use a Super Nintendo AC adapter with the Virtual Boy.
Ah, of which you have at least one.
I have at least one. Actually, I think I have 3. But, yeah, no, I mean, my Super Nintendo cord obviously works perfectly. It's great. I actually read, like, that in the instruction manual. I was like, I didn't know you could plug a Super Nintendo into it, as long as you have the official battery pack from Nintendo. So, yeah, it's like the actual, like, real cherry
on it's like the package that you should have gotten when you bought it in the first place.
Yeah, honestly. Like, when I bought it, they're like, oh, it's the whole thing. And, for the most part, it was. The Virtual Boy, the headset, the stand it's on, and the controller. But then they gave me, like, a shitty, weird AC adapter and no battery pack. And it's like, well, if I had bought this brand new, back in the day, it would have come with at least one of those official ones, and I would have got the other official one. So, battery problem solved. Hey, now all I need is some batteries. That should be enough for a few hours.
That looks like a lot of batteries.
It's 36 AA batteries.
Wow.
I'll be able to play the Virtual Boy until my head explodes. Isn't that great?
Yeah, I can't wait to see the inside of your head.
Don't get your hopes up. There's nothing there.
Okay.
Just a note that says, I owe you one brain from God. Like Homer Simpson.
By the way, I have caught up on Assassination Classroom. I've read the 10 that you have, and...
Which are the 10 that are... At this time, that's the 10 that can be bought. They had the 11th at the comic book store we went to today, but it's not on sale until tomorrow. Just like because I won't get my medication until tomorrow, because today sucks cunt.
Yeah, for some reason, Wednesday is always the day that they release the new comics, even though they get them in on Tuesday. Yeah. They spend, like, the last half of Tuesday putting them on the shelf with a little sign that says, not for sale until tomorrow.
Yeah, which seems like a lot of fucking work. It's like, who decided that Wednesday is comic book for everyone new day?
It doesn't make sense. It's like, it has a barcode on it. Can't you just beep it and charge me the money?
Hey, look, and it also has a price of its own, too, which is the suggested retail prices, which is what you sell it at also. And it's the same price as every other book in this individual series that I've been getting for years. So I'm pretty sure it's still $4.99, you assholes. Let me buy it. I won't be here tomorrow. I'm going to have to wait a week.
Yeah, whatever. But, yeah, Assassination
Classroom. I'm glad you enjoyed the Assassination Classroom.
Yeah, it's really good. I basically have been obsessed with that and Ranma 1/2, but of which I have 3 more books to read now. Yay!
Yeah, or those two.
Those two, and then whenever you finish the other
I'm
one.
working. I'll finish that last one tonight because I'm already halfway through, and why not? Because you'd be, I don't want you to have to wait a week to read something I can read in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really cool. Like, yeah, actually reading the Assassination Classrooms, and I was thinking about it. It's like I kind of want to watch the show again. Like, I wish they would release more episodes on DVD, but I haven't seen any other than that first, 13 episodes or
It's
whatever.
weird because they do exist. I know I've seen seasons online where they're saying there's at least up to season 4 that I looked at.
Yeah, and however they decide to divide a season,
it's the DVD you got is only 11 episodes, so that's obviously not a season.
Yeah, even though it says, I think, season 1 on it or some bullshit. It's only 2 discs, and it's like, that's not enough.
I know some shows will release the first season will be shorter sometimes. Like, I've seen first seasons that are about 13 episodes, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they're testing the water to see if people watch the show. In that case, it's like, okay, now make more, now that we know it's popular.
Yeah, or at least translating them to English, because they obviously already exist in Japan. But, yeah, it's really good.
I could even, watch a Japanese episode if I had to. I just would understand about 30% of what they're saying, probably.
One part in there that I noticed was missing completely from the episodes, and it was in the middle of the episode arcs that I did see, where they are all working together to get revenge on those 2 students.
Oh, the 2 asshole kids.
Yeah, with the laxative and everything. That part wasn't in the show.
Oh,
at
yeah,
least.
It wasn't.
And I thought that was actually a really important part because it was the first scene where they all actually work together
to accomplish a goal.
To accomplish a goal, which it was like a play assassination almost.
I didn't notice that at all.
They're all using their special talents and skills.
These 2 are the good shooters, so they'll shoot the things into their cups. These 2 are like the good knife users, so they'll chop the branch down or whatever.
And they got the kid to make the false old people masks or whatever for him to make them look good.
That happened early on in the books, kind of, didn't it?
It did, it should have happened somewhere in those episode arcs that you gave me, and it wasn't in there. And I thought it was actually pretty significant because of that. It was the first time that they learned to all work together.
Yeah, when you put it that way, that seems weird. I didn't even notice.
Yeah. Well, have you watched all of them?
I mean, I watched all the episodes.
It should have landed in that story arc somewhere.
First season that I have, but yeah, that's weird. I don't get it.
I don't know why they would decide to cut it out either.
Yeah,
because
maybe it's in the next season.
It
really
could be. They might have
but
rearranged stuff for some reason. I don't know why.
I think they might have rearranged 1 or 2 different events from the books to the show, but
I couldn't remember.
It's like minor crap, like look, he's meeting the principal or
this
something.
This is like a big major part.
Yeah, them all working as a team for the first time. So. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Either way, just thinking about it, the show again, it's like, not only do I want to watch new episodes, I want to watch it again just to hear that kick-ass opening theme song.
Yeah, the opening theme is great.
I hadn't thought about it for a while, and today I had it stuck in my head. It's like, I might just put that fucking disc in and just watch that. Not watch the old episode I already seen, just watch the opening theme because, god damn it, that's cool.
Yeah, it really is. And I love seeing Koro-sensei just spinning around, waggling his tentacles around.
All the kids are, jumping up and down, and the song's crazy, and everyone's fucking nuts. It's it's the most anime-ass anime thing you'll ever see, probably.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. I've seen some pretty fucking bizarre stuff, but...
I've actually listened to the end credit song a couple times just on its own, too. Just...
Yeah,
I found the full version of the song. I really like it by itself.
Yeah. Oh, man, that'd be cool if you could find a full version of the opening theme, because I used to do that, with all the shows that I watched. Inuyasha, Bleach, Ranma, whatever.
I think I did look it up on YouTube. I found the full song.
I would not only find the full songs to shows that I watched because I watched them so much, the song gets stuck in your head, and I like watching the opening every time. I know people will skip it. Lauren will skip openings just to get to the show, and I can understand that. But at the same time, the songs are so cool.
Yeah,
and the animation's real nice.
There's certain shows where I will skip the beginning after a while, but there's certain ones like Assassination Classroom where I'm like, I have to watch it the whole every time I have to watch that. Because it gets you pumped up to watch the episode.
Yeah, it's great.
There's some that are really good, and then there's some that are just kind of, I'm bored with it now.
Yeah. Some aren't as catchy as others.
There's actually a lot of anime where each season they'll have a different song.
Yeah, they do that with that. Actually, I think every show I've seen that's had seasons does a different opening theme with like different visuals and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I think that's cool too, because a lot of the music I like, and like I said, I actually downloaded the full versions of all of these songs and I have them on my computer, but now it's like, I want Assassination Classroom music also. At least that opening theme, because god damn it, that's so cool.
Yeah.
But I had to go to like some weird, this is years ago, but I had to go to some like weird ass websites just to find this music, because it's like, you want some Japanese pop song that they use for an opening in some show that only 5 people have ever watched? The fuck's wrong with you? It's like, but it's catchy, I want to listen to it.
Okay. How'd your phone call go?
Pretty good.
Great.
Yeah, it was an interview for.
We talked about Virtual Boy battery
you did
packs.
an over the phone interview.
Yeah, pretty much. He was giving me the overview of what the jobs he has open are, and one of the one he's looking for is like incredibly similar to what I do now. The base pay for it's a little bit less, but we weren't positive if my 7 years of raises would transfer over with me or not. So it's like we'd have to talk to their HR people whether or not that would go over or not. Because if it did, that'd be great, because then I'd be making more than I'm making now. And if not, well, it's only like $2 less.
Yeah, it might be worth it for the change.
But yeah, it's
the stress reduce alone would be worth $1 billion.
Yeah, especially if my car gets fixed, which is when we talked to the guy this morning. I think that's where I was at my story. They said they were going to fix it, and it's going to take between 2 and 3 weeks to fix my car. So hopefully, I'll have my car back pretty soon.
I thought they said it would be ready like this Friday.
No. They said they'd call Friday and tell us where they're at on getting parts and how much they've got fixed.
Yeah, because they got to order all the parts and then get them delivered and then put them in place.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's kind of a process.
Yeah.
This headlight piece, it's like 2 inches, like little tiny square. We can only get them in China, so yeah. Speaking of which, into the junk drawer with you, Mr. Made in China AC adapter for Virtual Boy. I've got a real Super Nintendo adapter I can use with my nifty plug-in thing. Hey, look at it. It opens up. Isn't that cool? It makes a little clicky, and you can like plug it in and then like close it up, and then you can even put batteries in it so I don't have a cord.
Yeah. How much game time do you get on those batteries?
For like 2 hours.
Sounds great.
For only 6 AA batteries, you can melt your eyes all you want for an afternoon. I don't know. It gets better game life than Game Gear.
So, Wes, what have you been up to?
Or the Sega Nomad.
Well, Jason and I were talking.
If you want some AA batteries, you could totally play your Sega Nomad like at work, and people could look at you awkwardly, and so you could be like, "I'm playing Sonic the Hedgehog," and they'd be like, "What the fuck? You're in the fridge. Get out, dude. It's hot outside."
You're holding a brick. What are you doing?
What is that ancient thing? Where's your phone? What the hell is wrong with you? Sonic is fun.
I could do that. Anyway, Jason and I were talking at length about Assassination Classroom, which I was obsessed with until I ran out of books.
Now you have to wait.
Yeah.
And then I was sad because that's pretty much all I was doing.
But
and then
I did bring you these.
Yeah, you very graciously used your your employee discount to get these One Punch Man books for cheaper.
Tell us about that, Wes. Like, you just picked up One Punch Man on a whim, like, last time we were here. It's like you got a couple of them, or it's like, this looks interesting, and I've seen it all over the place, too.
It wasn't entirely on a whim. I saw the trailer for the One Punch Man anime, which just started coming out here on Toonami or something.
I might have to watch some of that.
Yeah, which I don't have normal TV.
I don't either. I'll YouTube.
So yeah, eventually you might be able to see it on YouTube or something. But it looked amazing. I was like, I've never heard of this before. I want to see it. I want to consume all of it. And I was really excited. And then I was wandering around the comic book store, and I was like, wait a minute. They have One Punch Man manga here? A lot of it? I'm going to get the first one and see how it is. And I would have probably bought all 7 of them at once if I wasn't on a budget.
Yeah.
Because they're $10 a piece.
Yeah.
When we got back from the comic store, I noticed you'd gotten that and you were reading it. And I'd seen the book before. I had no idea what it was. And I was like, hey, is that any good? And it's like, yeah, it's about a guy. He punches people and they die. And it's like, wait, what?
He punches big monsters, too, and they die with 1 punch.
But what if it takes 2 punches? And you said, nope, 1 punch. That's all it takes. And I was like, what? And then you showed me a picture of him, and he's just like some egghead-looking Mr. Doodle draw man, and it's like, this looks fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And so...
And, well, I've read the first 2, and then Lauren was like, hey, we have a lot of those books at my job.
Because I see them all the time.
I can get an employee discount, and it's actually selling for a little bit less than they sell them at the comic store.
Save a couple bucks each.
And he was gracious enough to use his employee discount to buy all but the 4th one, which you couldn't find.
Yeah, we had
7 right now. But...
Number 2? Yeah, 2, 3, 5, 6,
7.
and 7.
Yeah.
They had 2 copies of
1,
2 copies of 5 and 6.
But yeah, so...
But no 4.
Jason has now read all 7 of them, and I've only read the first 2.
Yeah. I actually went ahead and I read the first 3 in a row. And then it's like, well, we don't have number 4 yet. We haven't been to the store. Fuck it. 5, 6, 7. I read all those 2. And then just today we picked up number 4, and I blasted through that one just to fill in the gap, which, it wasn't really... like confusing for me. It's like, I have no idea what's going on. Who are these people? Like, I was able to follow it okay, skipping a book for a bit, but going back and reading that one, it's like, oh, okay, that's what they were talking about. And it's like, well...
How do you like it? So, like, without giving anything away to me, what do you think of it?
It's really good. It's like, I'm always addicting you to these stupid, weird anime and manga books, and you're like, I'll take a look, and then a day later, it's like, I must have more. It's like, well, you're in luck. I've got about 100 pounds worth of books. But it's kind of like you did that to me with One Punch Man, because I always looked at it, it's like, that seems weird. And then you're like, this is good. And I was like, really? And I looked at it. It is good.
Yeah. I mean, I've only read the first 2 books, but it's really amazing so far. Like, the first book, I felt like, the story seems kind of shallow. He became a hero for fun, and he punches guys and kills them in 1 hit.
But then the premise doesn't sound all that great.
It doesn't sound like he can do a whole lot with it. But then
the
you get to the second book. You get to the second book, and he starts going more in depth into the guy's backstory, and you're adding characters that they have their own backstory, and they're like spewing off these long paragraphs of their backstory to him, and he's going, I don't care.
What's the short version?
20 words or less.
Yeah.
Shut up. I hate you. And
why are you in my house?
It's really great. Apparently, it started as
a web
comic. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even know about it either, but apparently it got so popular. Some manga artist,
it just exploded.
Contacted this guy
wanting to draw.
I'll draw this for you, and we can make a real book.
Yeah, it looked like he was just doing his Doodle Man drawings, and then the artist was like, "Hey, I want to draw this for you and make it look awesome," and then they left some of the doodle drawings in there just for comic effect.
Like the main character's name is Saitama, if you didn't know. He's like just some bald, average-looking whatever, and
he reminds me of a Kaku from Bleach.
But sometimes they draw him like more realistic, and
that's
like
when he looks like a Kaku.
But then sometimes they
He's
just
like
draw
this
him as
cartoon
like
character.
weird cartoon doodle face. It's like a little kid drawing just
great.
to be silly. Like there's some horrible monster destroying everyone. You see Mr. Doodle Man just stand there like,
Yeah,
and then he just punches its fucking head off. And he's like, I need to go to the sale today.
Yeah, I like to think that's like the original drawing from the webcomic was when he was just that little cartoon.
I think it is.
I would assume
And
so.
they're like, you know what? Let's leave it like that. Whenever it's just he's not being super serious.
Yeah, just for comedic effect, because it is.
Because
the
rest of the
funny
characters
stuff in
are just like super detailed and awesome looking. And then
Yeah,
every once in a while when he gets angry, he gets like all super detailed, like
Yeah.
ridiculous. And it's pretty
like,
cool.
The fight scenes look amazing. It's
Really detailed.
really amazing artwork.
And it's
And
actually
then,
is a
and then
good story. Once
there's
it
a lot of really lighthearted, funny moments in it. It's just really good.
Yeah.
once it picks up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a popular thing already, but if you haven't seen it yet and you're interested at all,
Yeah,
I would
you could probably
highly
read the
recommend
first
it.
one and be like, I could live without it. But if you read the second one, you'll actually get hooked.
Yeah, you'll get hooked. By the
It
second
was
one for
like,
sure. And they're only $10 a piece. I've seen some about the same length for $15, so they're not too expensive really, for what you get.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's kind of like when I watched Elfen Lied, the anime one that I probably didn't pronounce it right, but I don't know how it's pronounced. And you watch the first episode of that, and you're like, well, that was cool and kind of awesome, but okay. It's like
Yeah,
you could literally just walk away after the first episode and not worry.
It's because like they don't go into much depth in the
Yeah.
story, so it feels
it's
kind of
just like,
shallow.
here's
It's like
stuff
there's
that
a
happens.
there's
Here's
a lot
the
of
basic
gory
premise.
stuff that happens.
Here's
yeah.
tons of violence.
Here's
and
a
some
crazy
nudity.
thing going
And then
on. With
Then you
people.
watch the second episode and it starts to throw in the story, and you're like,
Well, now
okay,
I'm invested
now
in
I'm
characters.
curious.
Yeah.
I want to watch number 3, and you watch number 3, and then you're just hooked. You have to watch them all.
I wonder if
It's like
maybe,
drugs.
Maybe it
Yeah.
works. Maybe it works to hook certain people with like
Drugs.
here's all the violence and the gore and no real story at all, and that hooks some people. But
Yeah.
for me, I'm just kind of
Yeah, you got to have the story too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really awesome first episode for the gore and things going on, but yeah, there's really not a whole lot of story. It's just very minimal story in the first episode, and you get to the second one, and then it starts to hook you.
But other than that, I did really want to talk about this game that I've been playing. After I finished all the Assassination Classrooms, and I was sad because I didn't have more to read.
now what?
That happened to me too. And then today it's like, oh, there's number 11, but I can't get it until tomorrow, which means I can't get it till next week.
Which means we're probably not going to be down next week, which means it's probably going to be 2 weeks.
But but anyway, I was really sad, and I was like, I don't know what to do with myself now because that's all I was doing. And then I looked over and I was like, hey, wait a second. I bought this DS game at the game store for $4 a couple weeks ago, and I haven't touched it yet. And it's called Monster Tale. And Jason said he hasn't heard of it.
No,
Yeah, I've never played it.
Never
Warren
heard
said
of
he
it.
hasn't heard of it. I had never heard of it, but I was looking at it, and I was like, the cover artwork looks kind of crappy. Monster Tale, what's that? I turned it over. I looked at the screenshots. I kind of read the description. I was like, I have no idea what this game could be about by the description on the back of the box. Maybe that's why it didn't sell.
Yeah.
And then I kind of quickly looked up some gameplay footage on my phone with the 4G that I wasted. But no, actually it was good because it gave me kind of an idea of what it was like to play it. And I was like, maybe it could be fun. And it's only $4. And then, yeah, I popped it in after the Assassination Classroom was done. And I started playing with it. And I was like, this is pretty good. And then I got further. And I was like, man, this is really good. And then I got
Just
further.
like drugs.
And I was going, I want to play the whole game now. And I wish there were more Monster Tale games, but I don't think there are.
Yeah.
Damn it. But here's, like, okay, it's an action platformer.
God, the Virtual Boy feels so sticky. The controller is like all dirty, and the eyepiece just feels like human sweat, fecal fuckery. This is the worst. But I have to make sure it works.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You were saying.
Anyway,
I didn't mean to interrupt. I just felt the controller. It's like, this is gross. This is fucking nasty. I'm gonna have to spend like 2 hours dunking this thing in Bactine, which will probably fucking break it again. And then I'll have to replace it again. And I'll fucking pee on it all over again. Anyway.
Alright, Monster Tale starts out where you're this little girl, and you go out in the forest, and you find this armband thing, and you get transported to Magical Monster World, and you find an egg.
Magical Monster World.
You find this egg that hatches into this monster thing, and you're like, hey, will you be my friend? You're cool. I'm gonna name you Chomp. My name's Ellie. La la la. And the story is like, that's the story. Okay. But then you start getting into it.
And the monster punches people's heads off. One blow.
No.
Oh.
But you have this little blaster attack with your armband thing, and then you start realizing, hey, this map looks a lot like Metroid. And then you find this little shrine thing, and you're like, hey, I got a new ability from that shrine. It's a melee attack now. And I can like smash through walls, and I can hit enemies. And then you start finding other little shrines that add more moves to your list.
Screw attack,
and
awesome.
It's a lot like, they take a lot of stuff from Metroid or from Symphony of the Night and so forth.
This sounds like a good game.
It's already a good game at that point. But then you have your little chomp guy who levels up and who learns new abilities and evolves into new forms.
Ooh.
Yes. And his evolutions are determined by the things that he interacts with. Like, you kill enemies and you pick up items, and it goes to the little pet sanctuary thing, and you send him down there, and he's like, watch this, a cookie? I'm going to eat it. Watch this, a book? I'm going to read it. And then, depending on what he interacts with, determines what form you're going to evolve into next.
Huh.
Oh, like Chow.
Yeah, kind of like the Chow from...
I don't know what that is.
A game you haven't played.
Oh, they're from Sonic Adventure. It's the same idea. Like, you hatch these little blue creature things, and then you, like, feed them different little animals. Like, if you give them a bird, they'll, like, eventually grow wings, and it's cute.
But you can look at the little evolution branch from where you are, and it's like, well, this form likes to read, or this form likes to exercise, or whatever.
So you can choose, like, which one kind of you want them to, like, what path you want them to take.
And then you also have a shop where you can buy upgrades for Ellie, for your character, like, I'm going to get a health upgrade, or I'm going to make my melee do more damage, or whatever. But then you can also buy items for Chomp, like, oh, I really want to get that one evolution, so I'm going to buy more books for him to read, or whatever. So, and there's also a lot of backtracking, just like Metroid, where I'm in this new area, and I got this new ability. Wait, you want me to go way back there? Oh yeah, there's that door that I couldn't get through way back there I forgot about. This is awesome.
Yeah, I definitely get lost in that game real quick.
I've already spent 3 hours, and I've barely, like, okay, there's 5 bosses to beat, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I've played about 3 hours now, and I've only beat 1 boss.
Wow.
Plus the little practice boss at the beginning.
Yeah, the original Metroid only had 3 bosses. Hell, even Super Metroid only has, like, 5 normal bosses plus, Mother Brain.
So anyway, like, I was really impressed with this game a lot. Like, the visuals look awesome, the music's pretty damn good. There's one song from this game that I can't get out of my head. Every time I lay down to go to sleep, I'm like humming that song in my head.
And you just see Koro-sensei spinning around.
Yes. So
but
yeah.
to that
Anyway,
music instead.
That's what I've been doing.
That game sounds great. $4. What the hell?
Yeah, that's totally worth $4.
It's amazing. Like, I don't know.
I wonder what it would be at the game store.
That's where I got it.
Oh, you got it at the game store?
At the game store for $4, yeah.
Jeez. What was the game called again?
Monster Tale. Like, Tale.
Okay, yeah.
Like the story.
It's a monster story.
So the monster doesn't have a tail. A Tail.
No. Unless maybe one of his evolutions does.
do, yes.
But it says there's like 30 different evolutionary forms.
Which would give a lot of replay value.
Yeah, and not only that, he starts off as a baby, and I've already gotten him to a teenager.
Wow. Is he all surly and locking the bathroom door for uncomfortable amounts of time?
Sort of.
Yay!
Yeah, he starts as a baby, and he's like, I'm optimistic, and then he turns into a teenager, and he has these, like, angry eyebrows all of a sudden.
The only reason to live is to die.
And his little voice is deeper when you send him to the monster sanctuary. He goes or something instead of.
That's silly.
Definitely sounds like a really fun game.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
I already have a combo melee attack, a wall jump thing, a super blaster thing, and you learn lots of different abilities and stuff. There's no lack of new stuff to learn, it seems like.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Anyways.
would totally play that. Yeah.
Well, there's... Yeah, once I'm done with it, unless our observer wants to play it next, then you guys can try it out.
Yeah, that would be quite fun. So, other than my car being ridiculously stupid and screwed up lately, I finally got World of Warcraft working again. Because
Yay!
my internet was screwing up for a long time, and it kept like not wanting to work. Like in the morning when I get home from work, because I work nights, it's usually when the internet wants to screw up. And so there was like a 2-week period where I really didn't play at all. Well, I finally got it loaded. Internet was working long enough that it loaded the latest patch.
Holy shit.
I get into the game. Well, it's the pre-Legion patch. So that's the patch where it applies all the stuff for the new, expansion. So you have a month or so to learn the new stuff.
What's the new expansion called?
Legion.
Legion. Okay.
Yes, it's the Burning Legions returning.
Oh.
And it looks...
I had that earlier today.
It looks awesome. I'm going to have to buy it because I still haven't broken down and bought it. But you can play as demon hunters. That was like one of the things that I was like, that would be an awesome hero class is demon hunter because, the Death Knights were the only hero class. And it's like, well, I love my Death Knight, but why is there only one hero class?
Yeah,
and it's like, well, they have a new hero class, and it's Demon Hunter, and it's like, cool.
Are these hero classes based off of the Warcraft hero classes in the game?
I don't know.
RTS?
I never really played much of the RTS. I started the first one, I think, and I got through 2 Stratholme or something with Arthas, but that's about as far as I got.
I was just kind of curious. I hadn't even thought about that before, that the Death Knight was a hero class. And I'm like, wait a minute. Do they base that off of any of the heroes from the
Warcraft
3
Warcraft 3? Because I had a Demon Hunter as my hero guy when I did like the skirmish mode and that.
So I guess they do.
And it's like I don't know, but it was like that's a really cool idea and sounds cool. And it's like, okay, well, let's log in, see what it is. And it's like I log into my rogue because he's like my first character, and I usually play with him first whenever a new expansion comes out.
Just to explore.
Half of his abilities are gone.
What?
I look at it and I go, wait. Half of my stupid hotbar is empty. And it's like none of them... I was a subtlety rogue, and so it was all stealth and backstab and all that fun stuff. And it's like, okay, that's retarded. And I start looking around, looking at things. It's like, okay, well, what do we got in... Pull up the glyphs page, and it's like, there's no glyphs anymore. There isn't even a glyph page. I know they're going to implement glyphs, and basically all glyphs now are going to be like minor glyphs used to be, where they just do cosmetic changes and just funny stuff.
So it doesn't...
Like
there's no
make your
actual
pet bigger.
gameplay use.
Yeah, it's not that useful for actual gameplay stuff. But it doesn't even exist right now. That page is like gone, poof.
Huh.
All of the perks are changed, so it's like you can't pick which perks you want that you had. They're all different, so I had to look through it and pick new perks and do stuff. The garrison is now like completely obsolete. It's pretty much pointless. There's zero thing. You used to be able to send followers on garrison missions, and it would take maybe an hour or two. Some of them were as much as 8-10 hours to do this mission, and you could get rewards. The biggest reward, which I know why they took it out, but was gold. You could literally send followers on a mission
that's
for
just what I was gonna
30
say.
minutes or so and get gold.
That's just what I was gonna say. Because you can pay
Exactly.
in gold to for like a month.
For game time.
For game time, basically.
And basically, with the way I was playing, I had 6 characters. Well, my shaman wasn't quite level 100. She was level 98 when this patch went in. But 6 garrisons. With people going on things, I was getting tons of gold. Because I'd log in every day when I got home from work and put everybody on their missions, pick all the gold, pick all the things that give you items that you can sell for gold. And there was like little power-ups for your followers, which sold for a shit ton of gold. And I'm really pissed that I didn't sell them because they nerfed them down to almost nothing on price. They're like coppers now. It's like, oh my god, I could have sold them for like 10,000 gold, and I had to settle for like 10 silver.
Wow. They had too many people getting away with playing the game for free.
Exactly.
So they had to scale that back
because
that you couldn't earn as much gold.
I literally got my mage up to like 350,000 gold, and I'm like, holy crap, this is a lot of gold. I didn't even want to spend the gold because it was so much. I'd never had it that high. And it was just like, and then most of my other characters have about 100,000 on them, except for my shaman. She didn't have the garrison long enough to get very much gold, so she's only at like 5,000 gold. But
how much grand slam in this baseball game?
Yeah.
I was just testing because it was the only one I had because I just got it. The baseball game they made for the Virtual Boy. I can say the baseball game because it's the only one. But anyway, I got a grand slam and it looks okay.
Was it tasty? Did you enjoy the pancakes?
Yeah, I think they were frozen. I think it was IHOP pancakes, but whatever. Like, then the battery pack works and everything seems
cool.
good.
That's awesome.
Hopefully.
Yay.
Hopefully those fucking horizontal lines don't come back, because then I might just open the goddamn thing myself, but I don't know, fucking whatever. It seems to be fine.
Yeah, so they took out all the ways to make gold easily, because with 6 garrisons and I was just gathering all the materials, and when I'd get a full stack of 200, I'd ship it off to my mage, and she'd set it on the auction house, and I'd literally undercut everybody else, because it's like, well, this is so common and easy to get, there's really no reason. So I'd sell a stack of 200 of an herb or for like 200 gold. So it's literally a gold a piece, which is really cheap, and it always sold. And the really ridiculous one was with my Death Knight. I was getting alchemical catalyst, which they can make once per day, but I was getting a whole bunch of it, and that I was auction housing a stack of 200 for 800 gold, and it would always sell. So I was making a lot of gold, but they took all that out because it became way too easy for people to just play for free.
How much gold does it take to pay for a month?
Well, it was about 30,000 before the patch.
For a full month?
For a month, which wasn't that bad. I mean, if I had no job and could still pay for internet, I could literally sit there and play the game like once a day and play for free.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't...
But now, does it look like that's possible at all?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they'll do something interesting when the new one comes out, but I doubt they're going to do that again.
They probably are making it to where, like, oh, you can get a discount on this month or something if you...
Well, I'm sure they'll still have the pay gold to play.
That's
to
what
get
I mean.
30 minutes.
You're not making enough gold though you can get maybe a discount.
Yeah, maybe
on that month or something.
Yeah, the price of it like fluctuates depending on their imaginary number that they come up with of how often people are buying and selling them, and yeah, it's kind of like based on the stock market and stock exchange and stuff like that. But yeah. They took all that out, so that made me sad, and I was looking at all my things and going, I could have made so much more money if I had sold that. I was going to sell it, but it's like my internet screwed up and it didn't work, and I'm like, damn. So that was probably a good 20,000 gold I could have made just by selling the stuff that I had that I wasn't gonna need. But that's not the worst of it. No, after my rogue, I logged in with my hunter. I was sad. I was very sad. His bar is empty, and I've got mail in my mailbox. I go out there and read it, and it's a letter from a character in the game. Hunters don't use bows.
What?
My hunter got mailed a polearm, a two-handed polearm. He is a melee character now. I was a Beastmaster hunter.
So all the bow abilities you had are gone.
Yeah. But there's still a marksmanship hunter. And I think that is now the only thing that uses a ranged weapon.
Okay. So because you weren't a marksmanship hunter.
Yeah, I was a beast hunter.
It took your bow and
well, I still have my bow, but
it took away all
the abilities that use it are useless, so they're gone. And it's like...
Are they going to allow you to respec your hunter if you wanted to?
Well, that's one of the cool things they did. You can now respec to any class. So you used to get the dual spec, so where you could pick two classes and you could switch between them whenever you want. Now you can switch between any of them for free. And you don't have to get any extra training. I don't know if that's going to change once Legion comes out, and it's going to be like, okay, well, you picked the one you wanted before it came out, and now you're stuck with it. But if they keep it this way, it's really cool, because if you get bored, you can just be like, I'm going to try this one. And you have to do it when you're in a rested zone. So either an inn or a major city. You can change it'll be your glyphs, but your perks from your perk tree and your talent spec whenever you want, I think, if you're in a rested area. So I haven't switched over to the marksmanship, but it was bad enough when they had taken it down to where hunters were the only class to use bows and guns. Because it used to be you could equip it on the other characters, and they could still use it, but they took it out.
The abilities.
When Cataclysm came, they're like, oh, they don't need those, where they got other abilities to take care of it. And it's like, okay, well, hunters still use ranged weapons. Now it's one spec of one class uses the ranged weapons. And it's like, why? What?
I remember my biggest problem when they changed something majorly was last time I was playing and there was a major change. I go in with my hunter, and they switched the hunter from using
intellect,
mana.
Yeah, the mana and intellect
to energy.
Focus, I think, is what it was.
Yeah,
for Cataclysm.
And all of my items, all of my armor, and all that crap was all mana focused.
Yeah.
So all of my stuff was useless. And I had spent a lot of time getting all that stuff.
Yeah.
And spent some money on it too. And I was just like, fuck, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Why do you change stuff like that to fuck over players?
Yeah. Basically, it hasn't been this radical of a change since Cataclysm.
Mm-hmm. It seems like they're changing.
Yeah,
more.
with Mists of Pandaria and Draenor, it was only minor changes.
Like
here's a couple different abilities. They tweaked a few things here and there on the perk tree, but it was basically they ran the same. Now it's just like, I look at my hunter and go, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Because I had gone to the trouble of getting the legendary bow that drops from the Black Temple with my hunter, and it's like, yes, I have the legendary bow. Super achievement. Oh, you don't use bows anymore.
Yeah. I don't understand any hunter, like, hunters use ranged weapons. That's what they use.
Well, I remember when I first made my hunter, and he had the ranged weapon and the melee weapon both equipped at the same time.
Yeah.
And depending on if they were close to you, you use the melee weapon, and if they were far away from you, you'd use your ranged.
But you always start with the ranged.
But yeah, the whole thing was you couldn't use the ranged when they were up close, and they're like, well, that's kind of retarded. So we'll just make it to where they're ranged all the time, and they can use it no matter how close, which worked great. It was fun, and it's like I loved running around with my hunter and using barrage and just shooting shit tons of arrows while my super souped up pet, because I'm Beastmaster, just tore things up, and that was awesome. And now it's a melee class, and I'm like, but I have a super high level bow that I can't use, and you mail me a low level pole arm to replace it.
Yeah.
How is this fair? You could have at least given me something that was the same item level, but not even that. But yeah, so I systematically went through and checked all of my characters, and with almost every single one, I'd log in, and there'd be like no abilities, or I'd have like half the abilities gone.
Chopped off, yeah.
My Death Knight, I was sad. I haven't played with him yet. But his runes, he used to have 2 blood runes, 2 unholy runes, and 2, what's the last one? Corruption runes. And you'd use those runes for your abilities, and they'd cycle through. Now they're all just gray. It's just 6 runes. Here are 6 runes. And 3 of them will recharge at a time. But I mean, I was looking at it. I haven't played with him yet, so I can't do definitive, but it looks like it might be okay, because the ability that he used, the Death Strike, which used 2 of the runes, which turned them into unholy, what were they? Death runes, that's what they were called. The purple runes. It would use a corruption and an unholy and turn them into purple runes, which you could use for anything. Well, now all your runes can be used for anything. And the ability that used that now uses your runic power, which is actually kind of useful, because it was like there was a melee attack with your runic power that was really awesome that they took out in the last one in Draenor, and basically they just made it your ranged one was the only one you used, which was kind of annoying, but it worked. And now it's just your Death Strike that uses the runic power. But it works the same way as it used to, and it's like, well, that's not that bad. But they took out most of my other abilities, and it's like, now I gotta basically relearn all the, order that you do your abilities to tank, because I'm a tank with him, and I was an awesome tank with him. So now I'm gonna have to relearn how to tank, which is annoying, because if you don't know how to tank and you try to tank in a group, you're going to get yelled at big time.
Yeah.
And that's really daunting of a thing to make people have to learn. And then the other one...
Tank and healer.
My paladin wasn't too bad. He's pretty much the same way. Still Captain America, throw your shield, run up and beat guys. And I've actually played with him. He's basically just the same. Changed a few abilities around, but he plays the same. My shaman, however... I forced myself to sit down and get her to 100, because that was my goal, to get her to 100 before Legion comes out. I didn't quite make her to 100 before they changed all the abilities over, which I'm sad about, because they totally changed the way she was. She now plays like a warrior, where she generates rage, which is called Maelstrom, and uses that to use her stronger abilities. So it's like while you're attacking, you're building up your Maelstrom, which is just like the warrior building up their rage, and then you use that stuff to do your stronger attacks. And it's like, she used to be, because I was an enhancement, area of effect. So if there was a room full of like 50 monsters, I'd just like be like, oh, I want all of you at once. Come here. Because you drop your flame shock on one guy, which is an overtime damage thing. You hit one ability, and it spreads it to everyone within like 20 yards. Wow. So every enemy automatically has that on there. Then you'd hit your Fire Nova, and every enemy with that flame shock on it would explode. And the more guys there are, the more damage it deals, and it's just cumulative. And I love just going like, tons of guys, I must kill you all.
That sounds great.
Because it was awesome. I love classes that do the area of effect, just nuke guys. And that's why I like my Death Knight so much, is because I just like, 50 guys, let's do this, and run in there and just tear them all to hell. And my shaman was kind of the same way. She'd take a lot of damage, but it was always fun just spreading it to everybody and nuking them like crazy.
Sounds fun watching them explode.
But yeah, it was. I really miss that. But yeah, it's so annoying because now it's like single target damage. I mean, she can dish out a lot of damage to one guy, but basically it's like
area
one
effect
target.
Is so much more fun.
And it's like I really liked being area of effect. And now I'm more of a focused one target thing. Whereas my rogue, who used to be a one target guy for the most part, is now like area of effect. Because I was playing with him, and his main attack that generates his combo points and stuff is now an area of effect attack.
So
it used to be a single target attack, and now it's like Fan of Knives, except they call it Shuriken Storm, and he just throws shurikens at all the guys within range, and for every guy he hits, he gets a combo point. So if there's like 5 or more guys, it's like instant full combo points, use them. Instant full combo points, use them.
That's so weird. I don't understand why they would change core mechanics like that for the classes.
Yeah, it's... I would have thought they'd learned from Cataclysm, because there was so much negative feedback when... Because it's like you said, you log in and all your gear's useless because they totally changed it, how it plays completely.
Yeah, they're just screwing you over.
And they did it again. And it's like, why?
Except it seems like worse this time.
I don't know, it's kind of by the class. It looked like my mage kind of ran the same way, except she used to have an ability that would spread her damage over time effects to everybody within range, kind of like my shaman. And now that doesn't happen anymore, and that makes me a little sad because I like burning lots of people at once.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. But I've only relearned how to play 3 of them so far, and I still have my mage, my Death Knight, and my hunter. Oh God, I'm just so depressed on trying to log in with him because it's. I mean, on the plus side, well, the other thing that really pissed me off with my Death Knight is he used to use a 2-handed weapon, so he'd be the guy with the full plate metal giant sword, run in there and whack people, which I love to do.
Mm-hmm.
He's now 2-handed. All the Death Knights are 2-handed melee weapons.
They have to be.
They have to be. And it's like, but my hunter's now a 2-handed guy, so he can technically transmog all of his stuff into those giant 2-handed swords. So I still have a guy who can use giant 2-handed swords. I just don't know how to use them yet. And it's like, but my Death Knight was more fun because he was awesome.
Yeah, that sucks. Hey, I got good news though. If I sign up for Nintendo Power, I get the inside line on the Nintendo Ultra 64 and Virtual Boy.
Wow.
Look, there's a picture of a bug that's getting squashed, and it's like, if you don't want to be bug getting squashed, subscribe to Nintendo Power.
Neat.
You guys think I should do that? Subscribe to a magazine that's been out of print for, 3 years now?
Yeah.
I stopped getting Nintendo
I
Power
think
a long
you
time
should
ago.
call that number and see what happens.
It does say subscribe instantly.
Yeah.
Ask for offer number 2155
Hey,
for the happy ending.
It's a 1-800 number.
Oh, yeah.
Toll free.
Awesome.
Yeah. I used to get the Nintendo Powers, and then for some reason they just stopped showing up in my mailbox, and I called, and they're like, "Oh no, you're still on the mailing list." And
Hey,
it's like,
let's hear some chatter out
I
there.
haven't gotten any. Where are they at? And it's like, "Oh well, we'll mail you the ones that you haven't gotten," and they never showed up. So I just called and was like, "You know what? You can stick it because I'm not getting any of them that you're supposedly sending to me. So yeah, not worth it anymore." So, which Nintendo Power did they have advertised in there? Which issue? Issue
Really old one because it's
60.
the picture on it. I can't see the number, but they're advertising NBA Jam Tournament Edition, and I think that's the Super Nintendo version. So yeah, and since they're referring to the N64 as the Nintendo Ultra 64, which was its code name before they just called it Nintendo 64, it's old.
Yeah.
It's from '95. It's the 1 year between Super Nintendo and N64 where Virtual Boy came out, and they're like, "Oh, this will sell. Oh wait, we're making an actual real console instead of this eyeball bleeding bullshit." Oops. So that happened.
That was fun. All right. How long have we been going on this podcast?
A little over an hour.
That's about a normal podcast.
Yeah.
Shall we call it?
I could read the back of these boxes of games we got. They're pretty hilarious, actually.
Oh, yeah. We did pick up Mighty Max.
I just
do this real
I
quick.
just finished relieving myself of something I like to call coffee bladder. So go ahead.
Gross. So, yeah.
Yeah.
We got this game called Adventures of Mighty Max. Like, if you remember Mighty Max, it was like a really cool little toy. And
we have a whole bunch.
They made like a TV show for a bit, I guess.
I didn't know.
I didn't know there was a Super Nintendo game though, ever. And then we saw it today, and it's
the guy who always rings us up is like, yeah, that was my personal copy, so it's in great condition and all this stuff.
Yeah, the box,
so
manual, all that shit. It says,
sounded pretty cool.
But the back of the box is pretty funny because it's like, wear the cap, be the Max, save the planet. You've seen every episode. You know all his moves. The question is, are you ready to wear the magic cap? What? Oh, they just assume you've seen all the episodes of the cartoon. Yeah, like what, all 10
I've never
of them?
even seen
Never
one.
even knew. Never knew.
You know what? If you're buying the game, you've seen all the episodes.
You have to.
But what moves? He's a kid. Look, he doesn't do... He's... Fuck...
He may be a kid, but
he
he's
has moves.
Mighty Max. Jason, don't you know who Mighty Max is?
Yeah, he's that little toy kid I always play with in the play sets, and I'd have him fucking die horribly to the mummies and ghosts and whatnot because he's a stupid little kid.
Well, then you haven't been playing correctly.
I'm having fun, damn
What's
it.
your next box?
So this other one is ActRaiser 2. And yeah, so ActRaiser, if you don't know, was made by a little company called Quintet in Enix. And it was great. It was like a combination of like city building and like platforming. There's all kinds of videos online, so check it out.
Weird.
But they made a sequel like years later, and they took out the city building, like SimCity-ish sort of stuff, and just replaced it with all platforming all the time. Because they thought that's what made ActRaiser popular, not the innovative combination of these two features, but just the shitty platforming, because honestly the platforming wasn't very good in ActRaiser.
That seems weird.
But they at least made the platforming better in ActRaiser 2, since that's all it is. But the back of this box is even funnier, I think. It says, "The legacy continues. Every once in a while a game comes out that is so good people can't stop talking about it. A game that seems to rise above the others. ActRaiser for the Super Nintendo was that game. We don't need to remind you of how good the graphics were. We don't have to tell you about the music. The music is pretty good. Yuzo Koshiro. We don't have to tell you about all that stuff. We could have just sat back and been satisfied with the recognition it receives. Instead, we decided to make something even better. ActRaiser 2! We've improved the graphics, improved the sound, and created a game we're confident will once again set the standard for all Super Nintendo games." And on the front, it says, 100% pure action and excitement. Like they're saying up front, like, hey, you didn't like that boring city building stuff that was actually really cool and interesting and well thought out. You just want to jump and kill stuff with sword.
Yeah.
That's what this is. It's
If
like,
I want a city builder, I want to play SimCity. Meh.
I have that too.
I never liked
But-
SimCity.
Yeah, like...
I didn't either.
When I see 100% pure action and excitement on the front of a box, I think of a porno. And there's actually a shirtless dude on the front of the box.
Well, with a name like ActRaiser,
Ooh. Yeah.
Then,
There
yeah.
is a shirtless dude on this box. It says ActRaiser, 100% pure action and excitement. No story. All action.
you're going to put that in the Super Nintendo and then you're going to see boobs.
Yeah.
You never
Or-
knew that was an ActRaiser 2.
I don't know. Some platforming game.
Yay.
Yay.
Hey. You
Oh,
know,
Yuzo Koshiro did the music for this one too? Sweet.
So at least you know the music will be good.
Yeah, they're honestly not lying when they're on the back of this box, like blowing themselves, going, "Oh, we made the best game ever." It's like, no one even remembers the first one. And you made a second one and took away the things that people do remember and like. But when they say the music is great, it is great, because Yuzo Koshiro, who has made like Streets of Rage music and the Shinobi games, he did ActRaiser games, he did lots of stuff. I think he's still active. And yeah, his music is awesome. If you haven't heard some of it, there's plenty of it on YouTube, so go check it out when this is over in probably a few seconds, because I'm really, really tired after... Did I mention that today sucked fucking ass? Like, just blew chunks out of a dog's anus.
Did only have 2 hours of sleep.
You alluded to that, but I don't think you put it so graphically before. Hey, there's another box you haven't read yet.
I could put it more graphically. Oh no, I could read the back of that box. Hey, let's hear some chatter out there. It's fucking Virtual Boy Baseball. It's got 3D. It's got a pitcher, and you hit balls, and you run around, and you can play with a starting pitcher, and the designated hitter. So bigger than life 3D. And if you play for more than 20 minutes, you'll go blind, because Virtual Boy.
Is that what it says on the back?
I think that's the gist of it.
You might have paraphrased a little.
All right.
Just a little bit. It's the idea.
Great.
All right, well, I guess we'll convene again in another couple of weeks, and hopefully I won't start off my ramblings with, this day. Hopefully.
Yeah, well, great. I would like to end this podcast by saying Tiki Tiki Timbo, no Sarimbo, Chari Bari Ruchi, Pip Peri Pembo.
What?